Hello, welcome to another episode. How's everyone doing? I'm doing all right. Uh it's snowing here. It's right now it's more of a sleet, but it's also like 27 degrees outside, so it's turning into ice as we speak. That's fun. But yeah, if you're in the Pacific Northwest, you are probably snowed in. Congratulations. And we've got our libations for the evening. Another fine glass of absinthe. I took the liberty of pre-making this, but there will probably be more chances to watch me burn myself. So that should be fun. Yeah, physical trauma is always fun on the YouTubes. Speaking of YouTubes, one of my favorite channels got a copyright strike today. Totally Pointless TV. He does he does these videos where he finds fake like bullshit martial artists and makes fun of them. Well, one of the guys that he made fun of copyright struck his one of his videos today, and I mean, I get it. Like, as somebody who just recently has been going through some shit for legitimately breaking some copyright. Again, I'll do better. But I guess my question is like, you see so many cases of people where they on YouTube where they are copyright striking down videos out of spite or malice or something like that, and I gotta ask, like, why? Why would you do that? I mean, if anybody has spent like more than like 2 hours on YouTube, that's a big no. Like that's something you just don't do in these streets. That that will get like entire communities putting you on blast. So I mean, it just doesn't make sense from that standpoint. And second, come on, like all that criticism like that YouTube content creators get, it's not just criticism. It's a form of competition. Cuz like if you're doing shit and somebody else, uses your videos to make fun of you or criticize you or whatever, whether they want to or not, they're going to bring eyes to that other person's channel. Like, I'm sitting here thinking, like, no, like if you're gonna, if you're getting criticized out here, don't be like striking videos down. Use that. Use the views that you're going to get from it because people are going to watch you. Anyway, that's my YouTube rant. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm just gonna leave it right there. I think that is a great place to just. Anyway, my other libation of the evening is going to be this fine Kona Gold here. And speaking of copyright stuff, though, I will say I'll use this as a segue into something else I wanted to tell my viewers is that I've actually been putting out feelers for permission to actually show some stuff. So we'll keep our fingers crossed. I hope that some of my hope some of my stuff goes through. That way I can actually like show certain things without getting the parent companies striking me. But we'll see. But yeah, so that's 5 minutes down. We'll see how much longer we can keep going with this. To those of you to those just joining us, I want to thank you for sticking with me. This live streaming thing has been a rough ride for me on many levels, but I do want to thank like the subscribers that I have. I want to thank the people who watch and who are active. I appreciate all of you. I can't say that enough. I mean, I'm not going to lie with the amount of views that I get. I'm mostly just doing this for me, it seems like, but I do appreciate when people show up and say stuff and have fun with me. I think it's a way that the internet brings us together, makes us, it connects us. Soon we're going to have sleepovers and we're going to braid each other's hair and talk about boys that we like. Maybe we'll listen to some Wham. Yeah, I totally grew up in the 80s. And part of the 70s too. Said I still remember the Atari 2600 when it was hot. So while I'm here, there is one thing that I was just thinking about that I just realized. Hey, I could probably stand to bring that up. Trevor Bauer, the big free agent pitcher of this 2021 offseason. He's a Dodger now. I believe he signed a 3-year deal. Let me check that out. Let me just jump down here. Yep. Sorry, guys. This is what happens when you don't prepare the shit beforehand. Let that be a lesson. I'm also not going to lie. I really came in here tonight cold, completely cold. Like I have zero plan. Which is kind of, I'm noticing, becoming a theme. I'm also in the process of trying to figure out what's going on with my camera. I as you all know, I got a new camera, and it looks great on my end, but apparently on playback, and I don't know if it's really bad live, but I can't really tell from my end, but yeah, apparently the camera feed is all screwed up. I'm thinking it's actually my internet provider. I might have to actually like upgrade my plan, which is more money, but I've already put some money into this, you guys. I'm not going to lie. I've actually paid. I've paid actual cashy money so that I can do this. But yeah, the okay. My God, my internet is so slow. It also doesn't help that the weather sucks. When the usually when the weather where I'm at takes a turn, my internet just dies. Never get satellite internet. That's your lesson. That's what I'm teaching you tonight. Satellite internet is a no-go. I mean, of course, I have to have it because that's the only broadband provider that comes out here. But unless I'm a business, then I can get a business line. Then I can get a business broadband line out here that isn't satellite. But I'm not a business. Maybe I should be an LLC. I am actually a really bad. I just realized, like, I spoke to somebody. I spoke to a friend of mine about actually like coming on, and yeah, I completely forgot to tell him. So I'm texting him right now, going, "You still want to come on?" I I feel like kind of an asshole. I'm sorry. I should have really prepared better. Oh my god, it's still loading. Stop loading. Makes me wonder if any of this is actually going out. I could literally just be talking to myself. Yeah, that's what I'm like. I'm like the weird. I'm like the crazy homeless guy who walks around talking to himself. Only I'm walking the streets of YouTube. And there's some weird streets, yo. Sorry. So we might have some. We might have somebody. We might have somebody. And now we wait. Oh, also some news from those of you in the Pacific Northwest. I received an alert. Due to weather conditions, Western Oregon Dispensary on Tualatin and Sherwood Road will be closing at 3 p.m. Cedar Mill in Newburgh will remain open until 6 p.m. Stay safe, everyone. Well, I mean, okay, I just noticed it a little late, but Yeah, just remember Western Oregon Dispensary closing at 3 or 6 today. That could have been messy. Oh, we got one. We got one. Welcome. Oh, I got a comment. Oh, God. Burn all the snow with meth lab fires. Okay, hang on. Let's see here. Oh. There we go. I just shot you the URL. See if maybe you want to pop on here. Like I'm not cool enough to get trolls yet, so I think I'm perfectly okay to spam that in the chat. Kind of one of those reasons I never want to. I kind of don't want to become like YouTube famous because yeah, I don't really need that type of aggravation. Though I'd love to get a Raid Shadow Legends sponsorship. Just oh. I think I need bifocals, you guys. Okay. Oh. Time to invest in a jitterbug. I was just talking about Wham. Jitterbug. Oh. We got him, guys. We got him.
I don't have my camera set up, so.
Oh, no worries. My camera sucks. Although
I don't have
it's actually
camera set up, so.
Huh? No worries. My camera sucks.
There we go. This should help with the echo.
Okay. I was like wondering, like, wait. I was wondering what you were saying, and then I realized, oh shit, no, that's me.
It was both of us. It was both of us.
Okay. Anyway, yeah. Well, welcome. So, what is a jitterbug?
A jitterbug was an old attempt to capitalize on old people and cell phones. So, think of basically one of those Fisher-Price cell phones with like keys about the size of a enlarged prostate, and that was really it. And maybe a little bit of text messaging with the screen a normal size cell phone screen, but everything was up to text like 25. So You have to scroll down to read the full, like first, like hello. So you might want to invest in a jitterbug there, boy.
Yeah. I'm we're getting old. Let's call it what it is. We're getting old. I just had my eyes checked too, man. Like those are new glasses that I was wearing.
I know I need reading glasses, but I've needed them since I was in my late 30s because my optometrist told me my eyes the muscles were getting there. I was lucky, some people in their 30s, like early 30s, have to have reading glasses. So, and with the amount of computer screen time I have every day, which is almost all day, I'm surprised I don't have any eye problems.
Yeah, I've needed reading glasses since I was a teenager. The rest of my vision didn't start going bad until like I was in my 20s, but yeah, now it's getting kind of bad. I've got my glaucoma medication, but it doesn't help like it should. I think I need to get the suppository form. Just boof that.
Are you sure it's not just getting kind of hectic?
Not sure it's what?
Getting kind of hectic.
Oh yeah.
Sure you don't have the power?
No. How bad is the snow up where you're at?
Yeah, it's not as bad as like a lot of places. It was the picturesque snow, the white, the fluffy one that doesn't really turn into ice or anything.
Yeah, it was like that this morning, and then it started raining, so now it's all frozen. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we're supposed to get like 4 or 5 inches more on top of it.
You know what's funny? I think the Midwest doesn't get black ice, so or they just don't have. They don't call it that because black ice, I guess, is only like really in the Northeast and Northwest. Black ice sucks.
Yeah, black ice really does suck. And yeah, that is definitely. I don't know so much about the Northeast, but I know up here that is definitely a thing that happens.
Yeah, black ice definitely in the Pacific Northwest, but I don't know about Idaho because fuck Idaho. Who gives a shit about that place?
My one of my older brothers lives up there. It gets balls ass cold, like for like most of winter.
He's not a typical Northern Idaho type person, is he?
I don't know. I don't know too much about Northern Idaho people, so.
Well,
I do know that when he first moved up there, though, he lived like a stone's throw away from the Aryan Nation compound up in Hayden Lake, I believe it is.
That's most like every place in Northern Idaho is only a stone's throw away from an Aryan Nation compound.
Or one of those doomsday prepper militias.
They're the same fucking thing.
Yeah, that line is really, really thin.
Oh, the thin white line.
Which burns all the snow.
Wrong white line.
Oh.
Man, wait. No, you don't snort meth. Ow. Crystals would hurt like motherfucker.
No, you can. Yeah, no, you can.
Well, you could snort it, but it's I'm just thinking that would hurt like a motherfucker. Even if you chopped it up, it's still like crystalline structure, so it's gonna, blender the shit out of things.
Most of those drugs do. Cocaine is somewhat, I believe, somewhat crystalline. I could be wrong, but yeah, that shit'll do a number on your nose too. I mean, Jesus.
Well, yeah. I don't know. I am, in spite of myself, I am one of those teetotaler type stuff.
You know, that's probably the smartest thing. I got to a certain age and decided, hey, you know what? I kind of like this whole like drug experimentation thing. I'm gonna try all the drugs now.
Yeah, mine was, oh, I can buy more video games. Yes, so my typical line is, I'm too cheap to buy drugs, and I'll have no problem dropping $250 to $400 on one game. So.
Yeah, well, you know what? The video game isn't going to run out. You're going to run out of the drugs.
Yeah, I guess.
And then you get more.
Well, I'm still poor, but
yeah, me too. Me too.
Well, yeah. What I find funny is like millennials and Gen Z talk about being poor. Dude, Gen X has been poor before you. There's some of them that managed to get in, but man, most of my friends who are my age are, there's a chunk that managed to do okay, and then there's the rest of them who are like, well, have advanced degrees, making minimum wage at best. It's a crapshoot.
No, I love it when people talk about being poor now, and I'm like, dude, my childhood bedroom in my teenage years had 3 walls because one of the walls had to be knocked out because of black mold. So if you wanted to go from my bedroom to the toilet, yeah, there was a curtain. So I couldn't see it. So I didn't have to see all take shit.
Look, nothing bonds people like watching one another take a shit.
The family that shits together fits together. There you go. The more you know.
So, speaking of shit, I decided to look up Alex Wright's theme song.
Wait, which Alex Wright? The what?
Das Wunderkind, the only one that matters.
Okay. The techno, the Euro techno.
Yes. Yes.
I used to be able to do the Alex Wright dance, but
that's one of the only dances I got. And what's funny is that it got me laid a few times. That's how pathetic.
at those secret raves in Battleground.
And it wasn't when I lived in Sacramento and I was going to graduate school.
Okay.
There was an 80s night, and my friend Hector started doing it, and then so I started doing it as well. So we were there doing the Alex Wright dance, and some gals started dancing. And so yeah, it got me laid. Thanks, Das Wunderkind.
Is he on Twitter? Like, you should tell him this. I think
he doesn't need to know. I don't want to sully his purity. Besides, he's probably Berlin again.
Oh God. The less said about the Berlin gimmick, the better. God.
They wasted Magnum Tokyo in there. They've just fucking wasted Magnum.
Yeah. He did well. He did well for himself, though. In his career,
he was Toriuman's ace, but how Toriuman had, like, I'm surprised Seema's still wrestling considering the amount of injuries your typical Toriuman or Dragon's Gate worker, how much they had.
Dude, Ultimo Dragon still works matches from time to time.
Oh fuck, I didn't know that. One of the greatest workers ever, and doesn't get any recognition.
Oh, he was. I'm not. I was never like the big, the big Uber fan in the 90s. Like, I knew that, like, I knew Pure S existed and all that. I never got a chance to watch it or anything like that. So
I dipped my toes in it, but I like Dragon's Gate, Michinoku Pro, that sort of shit. I watched it. And
yeah, I'm really coming into that, like, seriously after the fact. But going back to Ultimo Dragon, so like when I was because I used to watch, I was a diehard WCW guy, so seeing a guy like that, like wrestle, is like, what the hell is this? I like this. Like, I need more of this in my life.
There were two type of wrestlers from our generation: those that got suckered into the WWF shit, and those who got to see good stuff.
Yeah. WWF had put out, I didn't necessarily watch WWF back in the day because, WCW guy. But
Same.
I've gone back to some of that old 90s stuff, and like once you get past all of the gimmick crap, some of it's still pretty. I mean, some of it still holds up.
There's some that they had some good talent, but McMahon was never going to use it, right?
Oh,
he was just give me a muscle guy that I can jack off to, and I'm good.
Yeah.
He wasted Kurt Hennig. He wasted DiBiase. He wasted Rick Rude. Savage managed to get there. Hart managed to get there, but still, like the amount of people that didn't get to wear that title because he's obsessed with fucking Hogan. Just ugh.
Yeah. He wasted Ricky Steamboat. And Jake, he also wasted Ricky Steamboat. He wasted Jake Roberts. And although you could argue that Jake Roberts more wasted himself, but
you know what? When he's sober, he's still one of the best. I think he's one of the best bookers. The man just understands like psychology and how to present a story.
Oh God! Have you his promos in AEW are he still can cut a killer promo.
Well, yeah, I mean, Jesus. So you have this guy that looks like your old creepy Matthew McConaughey style guy from Dazed and Confused with his little tights and his snake. Probably has a Trans Am, needed a denim jacket. And he can cut some of the creepiest, best promos. It was just disconcerting because if you look at him, it's like, this guy's a threat. He looks like he hangs out at the high school and works at the 7-Eleven across the street and tries to hit on freshmen.
But yeah, and then he starts talking, and it's like, oh, yeah, this guy scares me now.
Yeah, I still think it was a mistake turning him face.
I think he was still pretty good I think he was still fairly effective as a face, but nah, he was a classic heel in every sense of the word.
Oh yeah. You know who still doesn't get, even though he does kind of get a modicum of respect? Larry Zbyszko, the dirtiest player in the game.
Oh. Yeah, he's good. Not so much as an announcer, but
oh God, no, he's fucking terrible. But he was so good that Flair stole his nickname.
Yeah. But no, that dude was huge in AWA back in the day.
Yeah, the AWA fucked themselves because Gagne wouldn't fucking do the right thing most of the time. I mean, he fucked over Hansen where Hansen's like, yeah, fuck you. I'm staying in Japan.
Yeah. Yeah, I heard he fucked over a lot of guys like Scott Hall, Hulk Hogan. I mean,
yep.
Kurt Hennig.
Yep. God, thinking of the AWA talent pool: Rude, Hennig, Hogan, Hansen, Zbyszko, Bockwinkel.
Yeah, the AWA could have been the greatest They could have been the promotion that we talk about nowadays. But I'll argue that the lack of market share and the management of said market share by Gagne killed it.
Gagne didn't know how to market. He didn't want to spread his territory. He was still very beholden to the idea of territories. Just like fucking Sandy Barr. Sandy Bar just was happy to stay in Portland.
Yep.
And he was so cheap. He was so cheap.
Yeah. Oh God. I remember what was it in the 90s? Sandy Bar had it tried to get back into the game. You had something called Championship Wrestling USA. It showed on Multnomah Community Cable Access. In fact, I used to actually if you were watching Multnomah Community Access from like 92 to around 94. I was the guy who switched out the tapes late at night. I was the reason you got to see Water Forum.
Oh boy.
Yeah, or the chess show.
Man, like Portland wrestling had fucking in their classic heydays, they had the fucking sheep herders versus the kangaroos blood feud in the US. Talk about blade jobs. Jesus.
Oh God.
Their matches were more blood than actual anything else.
Oh yeah, the sheep herders were kind of an OG hardcore team. I mean,
well, when they were up against the kangaroos, it was just basically a blood feud. They would just blade the shit out of each other.
Was that like an Australian?
Yeah, was that New Zealand versus Australia. Fuck sheep on a pole match, basically, I think was their signature matches against each other.
Okay.
You stopped yourself from drinking. Good job.
Oh.
You might have forgotten just how I am typically.
You're not going to sing the Bugger song, are you?
Oh, this is Bugger. Buggering all night. You sheep think it's wrong, but we all know it feels right. Bugger.
I can't believe you still remember that.
I wrote it on the fly. It was one writing session. I just wrote it.
You know, I will say, back when I was writing really regularly, like all of my best work was just like spur of the moment. Like I'd come up with like a general concept of what I wanted to do, but yeah, I wouldn't actually sit down and write the thing until like I was ready to send it.
That was my typical thing. And usually, anytime I thought something was really good, not many people liked it. When I thought something sucked ass, most people didn't seem to like it. So I'm like, oh man, fuck.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like it kind of got to a point for me where it was like, I knew not everybody was going to like my stuff. So my approach was more like, hey, you know what? I'm writing to amuse my friends. The rest of y'all can go.
I wrote to amuse myself. I wrote to amuse myself.
Yeah.
If anyone else liked it, that was just on them.
Well, I did the parody of the WCW mini movie series. So
I wrote about a penguin.
I had a porn-based theme park and space Vikings from Minnesota.
I made a parody of a character that the whole thing was just they're fat and Chinese. That somehow people liked. Never understood that, but that Chinese roundhouse.
By the way, for those of you who are coming in late, we're talking about our old e-wrestling exploits.
Yeah, because we couldn't get any fucking.
Just wanted to fill anybody in who might actually be paying attention. But even if no one does, it still gets posted, so everybody can always come in.
This is a shame.
Well, I think the world needs to hear more stories of e-wrestling exploits. This is like the e-wrestling equivalent of shoot interviews. That should be the name of this: e-wrestling shoot interviews.
That would be terrible. So you could.
So I got really pissed at this dude in the IRC chat because he said he didn't like my character. So I had some Mountain Dew Code Red, and I sat down and I typed the greatest flash of my life.
Oh. Most of mine was, will anyone pick up on the weird references I'm putting down?
Oh. Oh. Well, this has been an interesting. Yeah, I'm going to put that down. There. I was like, should I kill the glass of liquor, or should I just go for the water? Life choices.
Why not both? Just put it like typical bar and just put the liquor in the giant glass of water. Boom, you have their shot.
I will say this for the bar that I don't really frequent it as much as I used to, but because I live literally a couple hundred feet from a bar. But no, they treat me right. They pour me stiff. I like it. Even though it generally tends to mean that I spend less money there a night.
It all washes out in the end.
Yeah, I tip them well. They earn it. They have to deal with my stupid ass, so I think
just the tip.
No tipping for me right now. Although it's not because I choose to. So any ladies out there,
for some reason that just brought me back a terrible memory that I really wish would have remained repressed. I'll share it. Why not? So,
okay.
Back in e-wrestling days, there was two people that were buddies. Craig and Mike. You might know them as Ultimate Thrasher and Iron's handlers. And,
right.
And the memory is that they posted pictures of themselves on the message board of them naked with only beer bottles covering their junk. And it gets weirder. So later on, Roundhouse's handler says, "You know what?
Craig.
Yeah, Craig. It's like, I am going to save the pictures." So later on, he posted them again. I'm like, why did you save them?
I remember that because he reposted those in our forum.
Yep. It's like just holding on to their nudes. It's so fucking weird.
And it was right after Iron's drunk post when he said that he had that he was attracted to Mike.
Yeah.
And that was when Craig was like, well, that explains these pictures then.
and Mike was definitely uncomfortable.
Oh man. Yeah.
Very uncomfortable.
Well, you can kind of see how it might make things a little awkward.
Yeah, I guess, it's not asking if how big Hulk's dick is, or anything like that.
You know, I'm really glad that our community was a dick pic free community because oh god.
Well, it was pretty much a sausage fest, so
yeah, well, we were role playing as professional wrestlers. Of course, it's going to be a sausage fest.
no, there were a couple women here and there.
Yeah,
I don't know why they were there because it was a terrible place.
That is true. And well, Jade Glow just got home. How was wait, weren't you off work like a couple of hours ago? Are the buses running that slow? What the hell did I log into? Well, this is
all the best.
you've wandered into the greatest conversation of all time. This is going to shake the foundations of the internet as we know it.
No, it's just another litany of things I'll be embarrassed about in a couple of minutes because I'm sober and I never forget.
I know you never forget, and I'm sure you still have like, I'm sure you have like at least a few megabytes of data from those days.
Oh, I have almost a full year of IRC, the channel WWO IRC.
Oh right.
Where everything went to die.
Oh god.
That's where the where Mark the Fedhead was, where everyone started going on the bandwagon of accusing him of being a member of the KKK.
Oh god.
Another one of the things I am not proud of.
Yeah, he I don't know how he felt about that, but
he didn't like it.
I'm sure he didn't, but he had to have known that like when everybody else in the group started fucking laughing.
It was a done deal.
He learned to roll. He was really good at rolling with your shit after a while.
Yeah, I was always surprised at how much he let me get away with.
Dude, you and me both. Like, I don't even know if he like cared other than did it entertain him.
Let's see. I insinuated that his world champion was fucking sheep on the reg. That his friend was into dogs. That Fury ate children. Which Eric, the handler, thought was fucking hilarious. And he went with it.
Oh, Eric was fucking hilarious.
Oh yeah,
he had such a great sense of humor for a guy who's such a serious character.
Who came into Juke Joint Jezebel?
Okay, so we had questionable music choices.
I don't know. UCD had Defunk from Daft Punk, which is one fucking hell of a song.
Oh, no doubt.
No, he didn't play that. If Fury came into to I'm Just a Girl, I would have fucking loved it.
Yeah, I think we should we should start a change.org petition to make Brock Lesnar come out to that song.
Only if he wears the classic Gwen Stefani outfit. The tank and the ska pants with a chain.
Oh God. The 90s were a weird time.
Very weird. So, but I don't know. There's kind of a lost wrestling promotion. There's not much in the West for it, called Hustle. And basically, Hustle is if I actually got to run a wrestling federation. It was even stranger than Chikara.
Oh,
it was the Japanese take on sports entertainment.
Okay, so hello?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me? Hello?
Am I on?
You are. I can hear you, but can you hear me?
Okay. I was having internet issues, so yeah, I can hear you.
So one of the storylines was that there was a pseudo dominatrix type character.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. And she
I said
she ends up getting pregnant.
Yes, I can hear you.
Hatching a monster egg.
I'm having internet issues right now. But anyway.
And so she hatches the oh yeah, by the way, Toshiaki Kawada also wrestled in this federation. And he went along with all the weird shit, like being hypnotized to attack people or under the monster spell. It was interesting federation. You had typical Japanese stereotypes of gay people, though. There was like hard gay and real gay. So hard gay was a TV promotion, TV personality who, pretended to like be gay and would make people uncomfortable. And so his gimmick was that he and his partner, real gay, were wrestling, and they were lovers, and they were faces in the Fed. They were part of the good guys. They had like P-Lander Z.
Oh God! So it kind of sounds like. I'll have to check that out. It sounds actually it sounds a lot like DDT Pro Wrestling. In, Japan.
Similar.
They do a lot of goofy shit like that too. But this is the same promotion where that Kenny Omega lost a 8-year-old.
So what was it? But yeah, it was it's basically like if I got to write a Federation storyline setup, just random shit like monsters and brainwashing and all sorts of other dumb stuff. It was great.
I love that. I mean, I hate to say, like, I grew up, watching, pure wrestling, the stuff that Jim Cornette likes to suck his own dick about. But
I thought that was just when his
that's the stuff I grew up. I appreciate good comedy though too.
Oh yeah, comedy wrestling's hard to pull off. You're welcome.
No, they're why do we love the Blue Meanie so much? He was a comedy wrestler.
Oh yeah.
He did. Yeah.
Why was Stevie Richards over? While he was a talented wrestler, he's best at comedy.
Stevie Richards is awesome.
Yeah, but he worked best as comedy wrestler. But he was a talented wrestler,
I hate to say it, like I've got to. Oh yeah. So is Blue Meanie. That dude. That dude had a really good moonsault for a fat guy.
Vader had a fucking good moonsault for a guy his size.
Oh God, yes.
Brock
Yeah,
Lesnar
Vader was awesome.
Brock Lesnar had a great
That
way
dude
of breaking his neck for a guy his size. I saw that live and in person. His WrestleMania match. I saw how badly he botched it.
Oh, I felt so. You know, one of the I felt so terrible for. I really felt bad for Brock on that, because having gone back and actually watching him in like OVW and you know, the developmental system, like actually do that on the regular, and it looked really good for his size. I mean, it would have been the perfect freaking finish if he had pulled that off.
I was on the floor for that one, WrestleMania Seattle, and I saw I was like on row 4 or 5, and I saw it was like it was right angled to where I could see how he landed. I'm like, oh, he's dead. I said that as he landed. Yeah, people just glared at me.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
and of course I couldn't help myself.
Oh my, yeah, it was a horrible landing.
I couldn't help myself, and I followed up with, well, looks like this is his big break to the top of the card. Yes, I hate myself.
Oh, oh, that's harsh. But at the same time, like, oh yeah, that's.
It's well within.
Definitely a big break.
It was oh yeah, and I forgot where I parked my car again.
You know,
so
hey, he did survive, and yeah. He's still killing it out in those WWE streets, so
I did forget where I parked my car, so I walked the wrong direction, and just in time to see the ambulance take him away. Yes, it took him that long to get him out. So typical Vince. Honestly, I the person I went to WrestleMania with, Shay, I turned to him and says, "You know why it probably took him that long? Vince was probably hoping for another Owen Hart."
Oh.
To say I hate McMahon is to be generous.
Oh. Yeah, I still like I still have problems watching WWE because I mean.
Oh yeah, no,
that's not to say that, you know, that their talent sucks. I will not shit on the talent, but
no, not at all. The person who owns the place, though,
Vince McMahon. Yeah. Yeah, I'm kind of over that whole partisanship thing where everybody who wrestles for the other promotion sucks. But I mean, I think that's what makes it so hard. I think that's what makes it so hard, because like I do watch the WWE product from time to time, and honestly, it's not bad. It's good shit. It's good shit, pal. But at the same time, it's like, by watching this, I'm literally putting money in that man's pockets, and I don't know if I'm happy doing that. Because God only knows, he might like throw it to some despotic prince in Saudi Arabia.
Look, remember, he and 45 shared one common trait. They both wanted to fuck their daughters. They share other traits too, but We all remember
Yeah.
we all remember those creepy vignettes that they had where Vince was basically looking at his daughter's tits and other shit. It creeped me the fuck out.
Watching Vince McMahon with any woman creeps me the fuck out.
I don't know. I think
And
when
that
he has
includes
his wife
Linda.
on, I don't know. I think he's pretty much over Linda. When I see him look at her, it's like, it's he's like, oh, he just doesn't have that complete utter douchebag look. He just looks like Jim Cornette when he's in anticipation of what his wife's gonna get fucked by another guy.
Thank you. Fuck my wife. Bye.
No wonder why Jim was always a fan of tag team wrestling.
I like that. Yes, that's a good one.
Speaking of which, Bobby Eaton will still never get the amount of respect he deserves by people outside of the wrestlers.
You mean
themselves.
Earl Robert of Eaton is not going to get the recognition that he deserves?
He got he got fucked over by two things. One, he has the charisma of a piece of cardboard, and two, that's really it.
No, I will beg to differ. His Earl Robert of Eaton gimmick was absolutely on point.
So bad.
He teamed up with Lord Steven Regal.
Oh, I love Steven Regal, by the way. Even though he's a shit person, I loved him as a wrestler.
Me too. And honestly, like I could. He's another guy I could watch promo for hours.
I could watch Bobby Eaton promo for hours, and it's because it's the same thing. He looks lost, he stutters and stammers, and then it's over. But in the ring, he was amazing. Just like could make anyone look good, because it was just fucking art. But oh my god, he was just so bad at the actual promo. And making himself interesting outside the ring.
I can say that is one thing I kind of like about the whole, like, quote unquote smart influence or whatever, is that it the quote unquote smart wrestling fans do generally tend to do a pretty good job, like highlighting like wrestlers that maybe don't have the charisma, but they've got it all in the ring. The internet appreciates good workmanship in the ring. You don't necessarily like, and also, back in the old school days, if you were a good wrestler, had a good look, and you could do all the moves and everything like that, they'd make you heel, give you a manager, let the manager talk for you.
I miss managers.
I think managers they're perfect. They go a long way towards covering up an actual in-ring performer's deficiencies on the mic.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, a guy like the Midnight Express, wouldn't even be the tag team that we appreciate them as if it weren't for Jim Cornette. I talk a lot of shit about Corny, but credit where it's due, man. He is one of the greatest managers ever.
Oh, no doubt. Bobby Heenan, when they would just stick someone in there and he would take him far because he could just talk and he had such charisma himself.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, the dude made Vince McMahon almost sound credible as a play-by-play guy.
Paulie Dangerously, when he was actually he was fantastic.
Yes, I loved it because he would he had that big ass phone.
Yep.
Yeah, but you remember the OG brick cell phone? And like you'd be sitting there like watching, like he's gonna just hit somebody in the fucking dome with that, right?
Like when Paulie was in ECW and they put him with Sabu because Sabu can't cut a promo for his own to save anyone's life.
No.
But Paulie was there as a perfect mouthpiece, just that rapid fire, like New York asshole persona that he had.
That Paul Heyman got 911 over.
Yup. Guy
and that dude just did choke slam people.
Yep. Raven, when he wasn't making people into rough trade, could act as a manager and a wrestler. Come on, we all know Scott. We all know Scotty's love interests.
I'm pretty sure I wrote about that in the WCW erotic fan fiction archives.
Yeah, we'll make you feel the bang, all right. Goldberg is always asking in the locker, in the showers, who's next? With the jackhammer
and the spear.
Yep.
Yeah, my booking of Goldberg versus Kevin Nash was really weird.
Did Nash fuck up, get his back fucked up again?
No, I can't remember. I can't remember how I was gonna approach that one.
Fucking Kevin Nash, what a piece of shit.
I'm still a fan. I'm not even gonna lie.
I never liked him, but I remember when he I think he blew his hamstring out getting in the ring, and I laughed.
Oh, he tore his quad.
Yeah, that's right.
His quad. His quads are pretty much made of paper mache at this point.
You mean like Sid Vicious's ankle?
Oh,
I watched that. I saw that match live on TV. As they aired it.
I did too. I actually did too, and
they didn't cut away in time.
That was the first and only time I'd ever sent an email to a promotion. I was like, I actually was just like, I was like, I've never been the biggest Sid Vicious fan per se, but yeah, that was fucked up, and I hope he's okay.
That was the genesis of the ankle on a tendon match. Because the only thing holding it on, that and the boot.
Oh, that poor guy. I wonder if he. I hope he was able to go back and play softball again.
He loved softball.
Yes, he did, and he loved having clean windshields.
All I know is he was supposed to be pretty good at softball. Well, not after that though. Not when they had to reconstruct his entire fucking ankle. It's like I remember they couldn't cut away fast enough, so you just see his ankle dangling, his foot dangling for a short second, and it's like one of the most disgusting things.
Oh, the only other time that I think I ever like visibly cringed like that watching live television was the Super Bowl between the Cincinnati Bengals and the 49ers, 88.
Was that just one long cringe?
When
the Bengals were just
Tim Crummery's No, the Bengals, one of the Bengals linebackers fucked his leg up like in the first quarter. His foot literally spun around his leg like a propeller.
Oh, God. There was one other the other times have been for me. It's always with a left-handed pitcher. You know that one specific bone they break where it's basically career over.
Yeah.
Dave Dravecki, I saw that while it was happening, on TV, and then the guy for Tampa Bay. Both of them. I was watching the games, and I saw the one from Tampa Bay. He walked off the mound. He knew exactly what happened. It was one of the craziest ones because the ball just went left. He started walking off the mound. And he's like, "Yep." He knows he broke that one specific bone. That's it. His career's over.
Oh,
it only happens with lefties too. That's the weird part. It only happens with lefties.
Oh God, I know Tampa Bay. Tony Saunders, wasn't it?
I think so. It was when they were still the Devil Rays.
Yeah. It was Tony Saunders. He had a spiral fracture throwing a fastball.
Yeah, they're ace. Yeah, that only happens to lefties.
Relatively speaking.
Yeah.
Yeah, it happened to Dave Dravecki too.
After he came back and he lost his other arm.
From having cancer.
Yeah, it's fucking terrible. I cried. I actually cried. Because like, Jesus, give him a break. Oh wait, sorry. That was accidental. It's like Jesus is up there like, I did. What else do you want me to do?
No. Spiral fractures they're brutal to recover from.
I don't think anyone's recovered from it.
I remember, Tony Saunders actually tried to make a comeback with Baltimore.
Oh man!
And he was, I believe he did a spring training with them, but like he couldn't go. He was done.
Oh, when I think of the Orioles, I think of when they signed. I can't remember who they signed. They signed someone to a big contract and it forced them to trade Mickey Chettleton because they couldn't afford him anymore. So the Tigers got him and sent Kevin Ritz to the Orioles. I was like, whoops. That Tigers team had no pitching. Though. The Tigers team had no pitching.
No,
the lineup was Trammell, Whitaker, Fielder, Tettleton, Deere, Tony Phillips, Travis Fryman. And like two other guys that get another two guys who get home runs. Like that whole lineup was you can't leave the ball near the.
Wasn't Lance Parrish still catching for him? No. Matt Noakes?
No, Noakes was a one year wonder. Parrish left in '86. That Tigers team was all stick. I think their regular starting 9 each had double digit home runs. So.
Oh yeah, and their ace was Mike Moore
with like a 5 ERA, 5.5.
Yeah,
and they still managed to get close to winning 80 games. And they still managed to get close to winning 80 games just based on the fact they could hit so many home runs.
Yeah, I was like thinking about like they were brutal to play against in like the like hardball and stuff like that.
Yeah, because he threw the ball near the plate, they would just crush it. It's like, oh fuck.
Yeah.
I played as the Tigers. They were brutal to use because you throw the ball, it's gonna get hit. You're like, come on, just give me 3 outs. The only pitcher of theirs that was good was Mike Henneman, a closer.
Yeah.
You put a middle tier starter on that team, not shit tier like Mike Moore, but a mid tier. He's gonna get close to a Cy Young year because he's gonna win so many games just because they score so many damn runs.
Right. Well, that's why wins are overrated in baseball.
Yeah,
because you could literally win like 20 games, and yeah,
you could be like Felix Hernandez and have 136 wins in your career because you played on the Mariners.
I was talking about that last week, I believe. I think the guy's has a Hall of Fame career.
He's close. Unfortunately, the last 3 years of his career, when he basically was done, have hurt his case. But he has a stronger case than most people. But Felix Hernandez, for a period of 4 years, was the best pitcher in baseball, without any question.
No, he was brilliant.
And he was on the Mariners. I look at the players they've had, the careers they've wasted. It's a fucking tragedy.
Yeah. The Mariners are probably one of the most so many missed opportunities. Even not even necessarily from an on the field level. We're talking dude, the Mariners could have had Greg Maddux in the 80s.
Yeah, but think about this. If he was Greg Maddux on the Mariners. Yeah, but think of Greg Maddux on the Mariners and the torture he would have gone through.
Oh, I'm sure he could have done well in the Kingdom.
The Kingdom was death to most pitchers, though. It's a fucking fucking match. It was a fucking matchstick box.
Yeah, Randy Johnson managed to do okay for himself there.
Man, I'm surprised he had a career after the Mariners, because they ran him into the ground 95, where he pitched so many innings in the postseason.
Yeah, Lou Piniella kind of he did tend to run pitchers into the ground.
He and Dusty Baker are soul buddies about that. But 95, where Johnson, they're on the verge of elimination and they're playing the Yankees in that game, and he's supposed to only come out for one inning to keep it in check. He ends up pitching 3 or 4, even though he started the day before.
Oh God, have you seen John Boyce's video about the Mariners?
Yeah, and the amount of times I actually ended up tearing up was pretty significant.
They really are one of the weirdest teams in the major leagues. Huh?
They are my secondary team, just because I'm from Washington.
Right. Well, they're my secondary team too, just because I'm in the region. Yeah,
I hear you, and it's a curse, because I generally can never look at them and at least they're doing okay. No, they're gonna fuck it up somehow.
Yeah, I sit there and go, well, they're doing better than Baltimore, so kudos to them.
And then they find some weird way of fucking things up.
Oh yeah. I don't know. I think they have a really strong team. I think that they if they're young guys do what they're projected to do, I think the Mariners are going to be legit.
I'm looking forward to the
and Titans. Let's hope they fuck that up.
Well, we all know their GM's going to trade everybody for because he has a trade fixation.
Jerry DiPoto likes shiny objects.
He can't go a couple days without making a trade. He starts getting the shakes. At least he isn't what's his face? God, the one who ended up trading Adam Jones and Sin Chu for nothing.
That was
Bavasi.
Oh God,
Bill Bavasi.
Bavasi, yeah.
So he even later admitted he didn't know why he traded Sin Chu. He just traded him.
Yeah. I will say this though. The Adam Jones trade, I was firmly in the camp of Baltimore getting robbed. I honestly thought Eric Bedard was going to be a difference maker in Seattle.
I was at first like, this could work out if he stays healthy. Because it's a pitcher. And that's the case.
Yeah, well, good luck with that.
There's that one adage, there's no such thing as a pitching prospect because pitchers are so prone to injury. You don't build them up. You just hope they survive.
Oh yeah.
Like the Tigers have a bunch of like hot pitching prospects that are supposed to like, and I hope they hold out.
Yeah, Casey Mize is a good example there.
Yeah, he did have some slide back in the majors, but he showed flashes of being like a fucking ace.
Oh, totally. Also, I think, baseball itself in the scouting department has gotten so analytical that it's general. I mean, nowadays, like it's really hard to get to the majors on just 100-mile-per-hour fastball. Like you've got to know how to make it spin. You've got to know how to make pitches fucking break.
I still feel there's, I used to be hard on the analytics side. I used to be really hard, but I still feel there's room in baseball for a gut feeling just because of the nature of the game. Because you never know how someone's going to turn out.
That I do agree with. And I'm saying that as somebody who's played for quite a number of years. There are plenty of people out there that watch them and they've got they're warming up in the bullpen or they're taking BP or something like that, and they've got they've got a great fastball, they've got a beautiful curve, or they've got a perfect swing, and then you put them in a game and it's like, where did that go? I am a hell of a batting practice hitter.
I remember those. Man, I was talking with some people early. It was a while ago. They were doing this baseball, hall of all-time baseball draft and simulate it. And the one thing I started doing, I was pouring over numbers. I got every pitcher I wanted was taken, so I ended up with middle tier ones. And when you're dealing with teams with Hall of Fame hitters, middle tier pitchers will not do. But anyhow, the dearth of third baseman, Hall of Fame third baseman is, I didn't realize how few there were.
Really?
Yeah, if you look up the amount of third basemen in the Hall of Fame, I think it might be the least or second least. I think there might be more catchers. And then I thought, yeah, you know what? Third base is a difficult position, and they rarely ever see a superstar third baseman.
That's true. It's kind of it's one of those boom or bust positions where it's you can either, for years it's always been you can either have a third baseman or a shortstop or something like that who can really, who can field and throw and all that, or you can have one who's a hitter. You don't necessarily get both. And honestly, the Hall of Fame doesn't really favor defense. There are exceptions, but for the most part, you got to be a hitter.
The Hall of Fame is a bunch of shit because Lou Whitaker isn't in the Hall of Fame, and Scott Rowland probably won't make it.
Lou Whitaker belongs. He also belongs in the Hall of Fame.
Agreed,
Scott Rowland was a hell of a player.
Yeah,
and he played third base.
Yeah, that's one of my big things is I don't think people appreciated Scott Rowland as a player. He was fucking defensively solid, a solid hitter. Like he had a few couple of 9 WAR seasons. That's difficult at any position, let alone third base.
Third base is one of the most difficult infield positions in the game.
Yeah. They don't call it the hot corner for nothing. Jesus, some of those balls that get hit to him are fucking scary.
Well, yeah, that's because most of the league hits right-handed. So, like, you're at third base, like you're getting the majority of that, or shortstop.
Which is funny because like left field is the position where the shitty fielder in the outfield gets to play, and right field is where your better arm is.
Yeah, I spent a lot of time the last few seasons playing right field, and oh god, I don't know why they put me out there because the thought is most people can't pull, and I'm a terrible outfielder. I'm also a terrible infielder, so I make up for it. It doesn't matter where I am defensively. I'm going to let you down.
A liability.
Yeah, that's the nicest way of putting it.
If a lefty comes up and pulls it to right field, there's a better chance of there being a double or triple than if they hit it to left field.
Yeah, but honestly, like at the major league level, like everybody is so pool happy nowadays that.
Oh yeah, man, it's like
hitting all the other way is a lost art. It seems like.
I remember Miguel Cabrera in his prime. He could hit it to all fields with power as well.
DJ LeMahieu does a pretty good job hitting the other way, or just hitting straight ahead.
I think players need to learn to go back to trying to hit the other way as well because with the amount of shifts, because of how much people pull, you can get a good extra base hit, hitting it against the way away from the shift.
Yeah, honestly, that's most of my offense right there. Like I usually I aim for the 5.5 hole right between third base and short. It's like if I can just hit the middle of the infield dirt in between the third baseman and the shortstop, I've got a single.
Nice.
But yeah, I switch hit, so I spend a lot of time batting from the left side.
Yep, because there's so many righty.
Yep.
What's funny though is they're doing a poll of like sports and handedness, and the typical population of the world has, or the U.S. has X amount of lefties. Then they show baseball where it's like triple or quadruple the amount of left-handed players. Because of they put a premium on lefties, both pitching and hitting. I remember a left-handed pitcher can have a career for practically forever.
Yep. The loogie, the left-handed one-out guy.
Manfred killed it, requiring them to pitch to like, was it 3 people?
Yeah, I believe it's the minimum of 3 batters, but maybe we should. I'll pour one out. Let's pour one out for the loogie.
R.I.P. Loogie, rest in peace.
Oh, Jerry Don Gleaton.
Arthur Rhodes.
One of my favorites.
Same. Bobby Ayala, right-handed get no out guy.
Hey, he had a few good years.
Yeah, but not enough to justify Pinella's like super hard on for him. Another bad trade for the Mariners.
Yeah. I was gonna say yeah. Uh, uh, I would also argue that the Tomko and Cameron for Griffey trade was not very good either. Although Mike Cameron was one hell of a player.
Oh yeah, I don't don't give him his just desserts because of the fact he was in Griffey's shadow, but he could hit and he could field. But Daz Cameron, Mike's son, is in the Tiger system.
That's right. That's
And,
right. Didn't he debut last year?
Yeah, no, 2019, but he should be on the bench and going for a starting role soon enough. Same with Roger Clemens' son, who's a catcher. He might be called up just because of catcher issues with the Tigers.
Oh, would that be Cody or Cody?
Cody.
Okay. Okay.
But I was going to say,
okay.
Yes. What I was going to say is that the bad trade I was about to talk about was Heathcliff Slocum to the Mariners for Jason Varitek and Derek Lowe.
Lowe. Oh God.
Pain.
I felt that one in my soul, bro. That one hurts.
Yeah, the Mariners acquire Slocum from the Red Sox for Jason Varitek and Derek Lowe.
Although I will say, one of my all-time favorite moments is the 2004 Red Sox killing the Yankees in 4 straight games. So I will say good on the Red Sox for it.
2008 or 2006 Tigers sweeping taking the series from the Yankees. So, fun fact: there's one team that's never lost a playoff series to the New York Yankees. That's the Detroit Tigers. They've beaten them every single time they've met.
Oh,
mind you, they've only met I think twice or 3 times because they were generally in the same division all the time.
Right. They were both in the AL.
Still, they've beaten the Yankees each time. And the Oakland Athletics are the Tigers' bitch. But then again, Oakland's kind of everyone's bitch in the playoffs.
That is true.
Like the Twins. The Twins just once the playoffs start, they bend over and say, "Spank me, daddy," and that's about it.
I was going to say Minnesota at this point in the playoffs, it's pretty much like a bye.
God, yeah.
Same with Cincinnati.
Oh, man. San Diego went hard this offseason. They went fucking in.
I know. How many starting pitchers do they have now?
Not as many as the Dodgers, who also went in after San Diego.
That they did. But if you can afford it and you have the means, I say go for it. You can never have enough starting pitchers. Ever.
I would just say fuck it. How many viable starters do we have? That's our rotation.
Just make a 9-man rotation.
Or go with the whole your opener, then your long relief, then your other relievers. Because
I think that's actually a really good lineup idea.
The thing is there's those pitchers that always have trouble, like those starters that always have trouble in the first inning.
Yeah.
And then there's those pitchers who 2 times through the lineup they're fine. The 3rd time they're just complete trash.
Right.
Then there's Justin Verlander, who throws 100 miles an hour in the 8th inning after 110 pitches.
Yeah.
You're going, what the fuck is this?
So isn't Verlander coming back?
Yeah.
This season, or
we'll see where it is. He's probably, this might be his last season if he comes back.
Okay.
But
I could hardly blame him if he wanted to retire now. I mean, dude's getting in the Hall of Fame. He's got a World Series ring.
Mm-hmm.
He's kind of he's a pitching legend. I mean, there's no doubt about that. Like,
he's one of a kind for sure. I mean,
he will be one of the names I remember, like 30 years from now.
So what's funny is the Tigers, in their history, have never really been a team with pitchers. Like, you go through their Hall of Fame players and their great ones. It's position players. They have basically second base. They have Charlie Gehringer and Lou Whitaker as second basemen that have been in their team.
Yeah.
They have Ty Cobb as a center fielder.
Sam Crawford.
Yep, Sam Crawford. Hank Greenberg, Al Kaline, Norm Cash.
Is Norm? I don't. Norm Cash isn't a Hall. Well, no. He and
Newhouse. Norm Cash probably should be. Same with Newhouser. Like the Tigers have. Oh yeah, the Tigers have, like, there was someone who was just, well, I think it was a Cardinals fan actually. He was doing a thing about Hall of Famers, and he said, like, the Tigers have statistically the most players that should be in the Hall of Fame that aren't in the Hall of Fame. And it's like, yeah, that stands to reason. That's a Tiger thing. It makes a lot of sense. But but if I go through Tiger history, I'm like, pitchers, Danny McClain, Mickey Lolich, the one season for Mark Fidrich.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
Mike
Jack
Moore.
Morris. God, fuck you. Frank Tanana, who turned into a crafty lefty after his injury.
Right. Yeah.
Frank Tanana is a sentimental favorite. I loved his crafty lefty shit.
So did I.
Milt Wilcox.
Yeah.
The assorted shitty arms the Tigers put in the early 90s that gave up 6 runs a game.
Jose Lima.
Guillermo Hernandez, who had probably the best season for a long closer that ever happened in 1984. Like, he had 120 some odd innings. Just like,
right. He started a couple games that year.
Well, yeah, he like, you don't see closers coming close to that number.
No.
He won the Cy Young because they're like, well, you know what? Shit. Man, do you wonder if what's his face, Bill Belichick is hate fucking something with Robert Kraft, like getting hate hand jobs because of Tom Brady's Super Bowl win.
Oh, I don't know, but I will say there's a part of me that would totally understand if they were a little annoyed.
I didn't even watch the thing, but I heard the officiating was pretty shitty.
Oh, the officiating was shit, and honestly, it's like Kansas City completely forgot how to play football.
That's what I heard. I saw that, like, they just weren't really doing anything offensively.
You know, they did okay when they actually did pretty well when they would hand it off to Edwards-Helaire, their halfback. But like anything else, like, it was like Tampa Bay was on it. And I'm sitting there like, run it down their goddamn throats. They're letting your running back literally just eat up yards. Keep giving it to him.
That makes a lot of sense. But then again, remember when Mike Martz refused to utilize Marshall Faulk against the Patriots, despite the fact he was killing them?
Yeah.
He didn't throw to Faulk. He gave Faulk a few runs. He basically just they couldn't stop Faulk and well, we'll just keep throwing deep and see what happens.
To Martz's credit, though, that Super Bowl, Kurt Warner actually had a pretty decent game.
Oh, he did, but they probably could have won if they shoved Marshall Faulk down their the Patriots' gullet.
Yeah.
And Faulk was incredible.
Yeah, and it was kind of playing into the New England's coaching plan.
Mm-hmm.
Like they were one of those yeah, okay, we'll let you bomb some to your receivers, but we're gonna have a couple corners back there, and your receivers are probably not gonna get through this well.
Mm-hmm. Exactly how it happened.
They were creaming the wide receiving for St. Louis.
I just remember looking and going, there's all this room underneath. He could have just dumped it off the Faulk and had him go for 40.
Yeah.
And then he could have run it in because their run defense was shit. But that's not exactly there.
It's that's what I kind of going back to the Super Bowl, the recent one. I just kind of I kind of think Kansas City just they tried to get too cute offensively.
That's kind of the way the NFL is, though. There's only a couple teams that utilize the run. It's considered archaic now.
Yeah, and that I think that kind of goes a long way to why I don't really watch a lot of NFL anymore. I miss the old I miss the old hard hitting smash mouth style of play like that the 80s gave us.
So I grew up with I grew up as a Dolphins fan. Dan Marino, pass.
Right.
But my favorite type of football is I formation, shove the ball down the fucking throats of the defense, just grind them into the ground.
Yeah, I love that type of stuff.
So do I.
And you gotta have that brutal freaking defense on the line.
Yeah. That's
the kind of eats offensive tackles for practice.
That's my favorite type of football, where it's just two teams smashing up against each other.
Yeah, and on the one hand, I'm glad that football is kind of more the way it is now, because it definitely cuts down on head trauma that the style that we like lends itself to.
Tracy, that issue disappears after a few years because the player's brain damage means they forget about it. No harm, no foul.
Oh, that's harsh. But yeah, that is true. But yeah, I am glad that the NFL is taking safety more seriously. And unfortunately, it kind of takes away what I like about football. But yet I sit there and at the same time, I realize I'm kind of full of shit, because at the same time, I also love the CFL, and the CFL is more like a Madden video game than anything.
Oh, yeah. 3 downs, you got to pass it all the fucking time.
Yeah. Well, what they have it's like they're the CFL field is 150 yards. I mean,
I think it's is it 150? I thought it was like 100. And the and it's also wider.
Yeah. It's more like a square.
Yeah, 110-yard field, and it's like a bit wider. 65 feet across. Okay.
Right.
150 yards long, 165. Wow, that's a big fucking field.
It is.
And they have 12 players. That's right.
Right. Yeah, they have a
and there's
But
4
yeah.
teams now.
Only 4?
No, there's like 6 or 12 or something. There's only like 7 cities in Canada.
Right.
Says the guy with who's involved with the Canadian. But that's why I can make fun of Canada. Well, I don't really give a shit. I'd make fun of Canada anyway.
Well, you know, they are America's hat.
America's Jimmy Hat. They had to cut down on the amount of teams that are called the Rough Riders. There's only, you know, they had to top out at 12.
That is kind of an overused team name.
Okay, so there are 8 teams: Saskatchewan, Calgary, Winnipeg, Edmonton, British Columbia, Hamilton, Montreal, Toronto, and Ottawa.
That's pretty much all their major cities.
Yeah, you know, unless you combine the Maritimes, they could have another team. Actually, Toronto probably could probably could host another team or two. Same with kind of Vancouver. Well, and Quebec City.
True.
And probably some little shit town in like, I don't know, Medicine Hat or Regina. Oh, I think Saskatchewan plays in Regina.
Okay.
Yeah, because they were
like,
they
I
were
like watching it, but I don't really like know enough to like have to have a fandom or anything like that. Like I know the basics.
I know that they had American teams and that the American teams won too much, so they just contracted them.
They tried to expand in Las Vegas, actually.
Yep, the Posse.
Mm-hmm.
Sacramento Gold Miners, San Antonio Texans, Shreveport Pirates, Memphis Mad Dogs, Birmingham Barracudas, the Baltimore Stallions.
The Baltimore Stallions.
They were proposing to have a team in Miami, also Miami Manatees.
Because that manatees are sea cows,
and
they're definitely going to put fear in your opponent's hearts.
And their fierce rivals, the Atlantic boats, Atlantic motor boats, definitely rivals the Miami Manatees. It's a bloodbath out there.
The Atlanta Propellers.
They were going to have a team. They were trying to make one called the Atlantic Schooners for the maritime provinces. It's like any boat is the enemy of a manatee. They would have been a fierce rival. But yeah, it's kind of like, unless they can figure out a way of having 4 teams, they're kind of screwed for expansion.
Yeah.
I mean, in theory, when Buffalo loses the Bills to Toronto, they can always put a team in Buffalo.
They're pretty much like right next to each other, so yeah, why not?
Yeah, they're I guess they're like a little less than an hour away.
Yeah,
it's like Buffalo is Toronto's Vancouver.
Yeah.
Wow, that's sad. But I didn't think I could pity Buffalo even more.
Well, Windsor's like that too. It's pretty much it's Detroit's
Detroit's better half.
Yeah. I believe it's Windsor.
I think so. I'll be right back.
Okay. Sorry, I'm texting. Probably should have muted the mic for that. Anyway, I think this should be an interesting playback. What do you guys think?
Did you know that Das Wunderkind Alex Wright has clean pinfalls over Jean-Paul Levesque and Steve Austin?
Wait, what?
Yup. He went over cleanly against both of them when they were in WCW.
Oh, wow. Well, there's another reason I can add him to my list of favorite wrestlers. Seriously, like I really enjoyed watching him work. Shame he couldn't stay healthy. Are we still on?
Yeah, I was just chewing on something.
Oh, sorry. Oh. My pupper decided to come in. There she is. Hi, Maddie. Say hi. Okay. She's just laying on her little doggy pillow here looking at me. And I'm totally making this comment the title when I'm done here.
Okay, I'm done chewing.
Okay. Sorry, I'm in the middle of texting real quick. Okay. As apparently texting in the middle of a live stream is how professionals do it.
Hey, look, I'm proud. We haven't said anything vaguely racist yet.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
4 years ago, someone interviewed Alex Wright to shoot on why he didn't go to the WWE.
What was
He
that?
didn't want I guess someone did a shoot interview with Alex Wright, and asked him why he didn't go to the WWE. And it's like, it's pretty obvious. They probably would have made him even more Nazi in Berlin.
Oh,
He probably would have been something like Gastenhoff or Zyklon Wright. Something like in Vince's socially politically correct vault.
I can actually see that. I can considering what the original plans for Heidenreich were, I can see it.
They would have give him a finish like the bath chamber or something.
No, he went back to Europe and did pretty well for himself, I think.
It's always so weird how, like, Europe. Oh, the UK's gotten better, but Europe itself has always been kind of a like wrestling black hole for the most part.
Well, it's pretty different compared to. I mean, they use rounds.
What the fuck?
Yep, it's like, I believe, 3-minute rounds.
Burn it to the ground.
I don't know. Like, I think, like, I think that I mean, because it's that style's still around, so I think that there's plenty of performers that can actually, like, do pretty well working around that.
It's just weird thinking about it when, you know, I'm used to U.S. Southern style, I'm used to lucha libre, used to the different style of parasu as well, and you know, like that. They're roughly, once you learn one, you kind of can get the other ones in a little bit, but that whole round thing seems weird.
Yeah, I honestly, like, British wrestling used to be like that. Like, when it was like in the 70s and 80s. Like, I was watching a Dynamite Kid match, which was done under a round system back in the day, and it was actually pretty cool. Like they did a really good job of, like, still being able to sell the drama in between rounds. But I'm kind of thinking, like, I kind of think with a round system, like, it lends itself to a more competitive looking style of pro wrestling as opposed to more of a showman style, if that makes sense.
It does. I mean, I'm thinking like when Pride and other ones kind of existed, where they kind of did it more like shoot, like UFC style.
Oh yeah. Or oh god, Pancrase, the one that Minoru founded.
I always call it Pancreas.
That's how I remember it in my head, actually.
For some reason, I have those equated with Frontier Mountain, and now I'm thinking of what's his face? He's the big star from there. Died a few years ago. Frontier Mountain. God, what's his name?
It's escaping me too. Like I know it's like I know what you're talking about, but it's like, yeah.
Oh, Frontier Martial Arts. That's what they were called.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah, I don't know.
yeah, it's gonna bother me the entire time.
I'm looking it up. I'm taking it to the Googles. Oh, okay.
Did you find his name? Hayabusa.
Hayabusa, yes. Yeah, I was actually like looking it up, and that's just that's the same company with that did King of the Death Match.
Yep.
Okay. See, that's what I'm like.
Hayabusa was skilled. He was really fucking good.
Oh yeah.
He and Jinsei Sasaki were an amazing tag team together.
That is. Oh man. Now I actually want to go back and watch like Hayabusa matches.
Oh, he was something else, man. Just like Los Gringos Locos of Art Bar and fucking Eddie Guerrero.
Oh yeah, the Love Machines.
Yep. They were fucking good too.
Oh, Art Barr, man. I used to watch him in Portland. He was Beetlejuice back then.
Poor guy.
And he feuded with Rip Oliver. I remember that much.
He had the prettiest frog splash.
Yeah, he did. Hey, Eddie Guerrero, his finisher was a tribute. So
yep. And he had a nice one too, but man, it still wasn't as good as Art Barr's. He like how long he delayed doing the frog part of it too was it always surprised me. He
like literally it was last.
Oh man, so I'm getting nostalgic here for them because they were one of my favorite tag teams.
Oh yeah, I loved watching those two.
I loved how they were just the ultimate heels.
Yeah, especially in Lucha Libre.
Oh god, yeah.
Back in those days, that whole like pro American gimmick, it just
And that was the meat, but they did all the little heel things, like all the little heel tricks and everything just to add on to it. And then when Conan joined them, and he took his mask off involuntarily.
Oh,
yeah,
he actually did that. Wow.
Yeah. Eddie unmasked voluntarily, but he was a face when he did it, and they accepted it begrudgingly. But yeah, you don't do that in Mexico.
That is a big no. Like I don't know if it's as big a deal now, but back in those days, yeah,
it's still a pretty big deal.
Okay,
they still have mask versus hair matches and mask versus mask matches. I mean, a few years ago, Dr. Wagner Jr. lost his mask. And that was huge.
Oh, well, yeah, because I mean that's especially in lucha libre, like that mask is like part of your identity,
Yeah.
almost.
But yeah, no, man, Dr. Wagner, he's pushing 60. He's 55, but he's fucking ripped. He's also one of the best wrestlers I've ever seen. You should look up some of his matches. He's really good.
I think I will. I think I've got some catching up to do here.
Yeah. For how much influence Lucha Libre's had on the wrestling world entirely, I still think it's like criminally underappreciated in the United States.
Oh, I agree. I think a lot of American fans, or I don't know if necessarily American fans, but like just non Lucha Libre fans in general tend to dismiss it as being flippy fly shit.
That's not even
when there's Libre.
There is a lot of, like flips and high spots, but there's a fuck ton of technical wrestling in lucha.
Yeah, there is.
The quote unquote Indian death lock or the crossbow are standard moves in Lucha Libre still. Like hold you don't see in the US anymore.
Right.
Or of course everyone's favorite, the Patagonian testicle suplex. For an e-wrestling character who's, as usual, the main thing was he can't wrestle very well at all. That I created. That was the name of basically just putting the middle and ring finger and shoving them into the taint, like in between the balls and like that, just like that. And it was, and then pulling forward, the Patagonian testicle suplex. Blatant genital attack.
I might have to steal that for my finishing move.
Please do. It was a move for, of course, I'm not sure if you're familiar with it, but I made a character that's just like complete trash named Preston Mayfield.
Oh, right. He was Tracy Hudson man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember Preston.
Most people try not to, but it was me at my most me in e-wrestling. And Mose let me do whatever I felt like because he thought it was hilarious.
Yeah, well, it's entertaining. People will definitely like keep reading for that shit,
That's true. Like Broofy stuff, I've always loved Broofy stuff. I felt he never got his due.
No, he was definitely underrated. His stuff as Latex Lex in WWO was just, oh god. I always described it to Lisa as basically think Gold Dust turned up to like 50.
That's exactly what it was, because Goldust is one of his favorite characters, so he just.
Oh, I absolutely dug Goldust, even at the time.
Goldust is one of mine. Goldust is one of my favorites. Dustin really knocked it out of the park with Goldust.
Yeah, he did. Like I can't. I never would have expected it, honestly.
It was like him and they screwed him and Booker T because they surprisingly worked very well together.
Oh, yes, that was one of the funniest teams. I loved watching those two.
it wasn't near the end of his WWF run. That's when I really started to appreciate Booker T. Like when he got buried by Triple H. It's like, man, Booker T is just really good.
Yeah. Yeah, you can see why he was such a big deal in WCW when he finally broke away from Harlem Heat.
Yeah, it just took a little GI Bro push to.
Okay, so real talk, I actually kind of enjoyed that faction.
The WCCW stuff.
Hey, they finally gave Brad Armstrong something interesting to do. So
dangerous and deadly Russian leg sweep. Remember, that was Brad Armstrong's finisher.
That was a beautiful Russian leg sweep, though.
It's not a finisher.
It's not a finisher. No, it most certainly is not a convincing finisher, but it's still a beautiful move when he did it.
Oh, no doubt.
He had one of the best.
I agree, but trying to sell it as a finisher was just like no. But I hate the fact
it was the what?
I hate what they've done to the DDT where it's not a finisher anymore.
Yeah, I kind of do too. I mean, now you have to do you can still get it over, but now you have to do variants.
Mm-hmm.
Like a jumping DDT or a tornado DDT or something like that.
It's nowhere near as deadly as the Eric Watts shin drop kick. God, Eric Watts.
That is still one. He is never going to live down that thing.
He was so bad in the ring.
I'm gonna go ahead and stick my neck out for the guy though. He did actually become a pretty good wrestler.
So he got his drop kick up to the thigh. Is that what you're saying?
No, actually, he came back from in WCW for a while, and he wasn't great, but he was really athletic, and Eric Watts. I think Eric Watts kind of unfairly gets hanged for a lot because he did wind up being. I enjoyed some of his matches later, at least later in his career.
He ended up paying for what his dad did. A lot of the shit that people hated about his dad.
Yeah,
and his dad pushed him up on the card, and it hurt him. It was never going to work out well unless he was like a fucking generational talent.
And yeah, I don't think he was a generational talent.
Look, he gave us the drop kick to the shin. That in alone is worth every penny.
Oh God. All of a sudden I'm like, if I could get a time machine and do fantasy booking, I would have 92 Eric Watts versus 99 David Flair.
Why would you do that?
Come on, tell me that wouldn't be a train wreck you wouldn't want to watch. I'd have to watch it.
Oh God, I would watch it too, but it would hurt. It would just be so bad.
And can we get Renegade and the Ultimate Warrior as a tag team?
Oh god, you know who would the ultimate match?
Renegade Warrior.
Goldberg versus like 89 Warrior, and have them do their ring entrances to where they're entirely blown out before and they're just gasping for air in the ring.
I will admit, I will argue that the Warrior is a better wrestler than we give him credit for, just because he could still go out into the ring and like throw people around for 5 to 7 minutes after he's already blown himself up during his entrance.
It showed he had good recovery time. But,
credit for the cardio, man. Credit for the cardio.
But shit, what am I thinking? Oh gosh, what was this? Oh, Scott Hall. Man, it took me a while, but he was really good when he wasn't, completely shit faced.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I actually went back and I watched like some of his early TNA work, and he was pretty good. Like he still has his fall away slam is still like just impressive.
That was one of his better ones, and I liked his crucifix powerbomb. He did it really well. It's pretty much thought that he pretty much invented that move. So the fact he made it relatively safe in comparison to Kevin Nash, who couldn't make anything safe.
Oh
god, I thought of a great tag team.
His power.
Kevin Nash and D'Lo Brown, the safety violations.
Oh god!
Every match is a stretcher match with them.
Oh, that's bad. Poor D'Lo.
How many necks did D'Lo Brown fucking break?
You mean he did more than draws?
Yes.
I did not. Okay, I didn't know that.
He was a Nash level catastrophe in injuries he put out.
I can kind of see it. I can see it.
Like fucking Kawada or Misawa go, I'm not working with him.
Yeah, his power bomb kind of had a tendency to just kind of throw people around, didn't it?
It's more like a prayer bomb because he doesn't know where the fuck they're landing. Like Kevin.
Yeah.
Say what you will about Stan Hansen. The fact that Stan Hansen was practically legally blind and worked stiff. I never heard of him like nearly killing anybody. Mostly. No.
There was his match against Vader where he practically punched Vader's eye out of his eye socket, but
that was an accident. And Vader put it back in.
Yeah.
But,
God, I've actually gone back and watched that match, but like, yeah, he was able to get it back in, but it wasn't hanging on there by much.
No, but man, watching Hansen in Japan is like, I felt it's a terrifying wrestler.
Oh yeah, yeah, he was snug. He was very snug. I'd hate to get into any sort of physical altercation with Stan Hansen.
Like, supposedly he was one of the nicest people outside the ring, just a gentle, good guy. Just like all the
I can
stories of
believe-
Bobby Eaton. Just like all the stories of Bobby Eaton, he's practically a saint outside the ring.
I heard Vader was also really a big teddy bear.
Yeah, same. I've heard this. I've heard the same thing that he was. A lot of people said, yeah, he was just a sweet, big old gentle guy. And then whenever you hear Abdullah the Butcher when he speaks, very well spoken, erudite, like guy who you probably could, if his forehead wasn't hamburger, you could see him teaching like graduate level classes. But then he's in the ring, he's like, "What the fuck is this?" It always fascinates me the dichotomy between like Abdullah the Butcher inside the ring and Abdullah the Butcher outside the ring.
Yeah. Yeah, it's unfortunately I can't really I can't really endorse what Abdullah the Butcher did to a lot of wrestlers, but
Nor can I, because
hepatitis C is a motherfucker, y'all.
oof.
I don't know though. At the same time, like I can get it. Like being Abdullah the Butcher was a pretty good way to earn a living for the guy, and you might have to, you might come to a point where you have to make some really hard decisions as to, whether you want to keep wrestling with something like, hepatitis.
Really shouldn't
or
be an issue.
Yeah.
I mean, shouldn't be a difficult decision. That's other people's safety.
Yeah, it's a selfish decision. But sometimes people feel like, they might be pushed into a corner and they might do things that, aren't necessarily, safe.
Yeah.
And it sucks that, it sucks that, people feel like they're kind of pushed at that point where they have to make like, they have to make a choice between financial stability or potentially breaking, ethical boundaries.
Well, let's just be honest. A lot of it's because our country's fucked. Priorities are in the wrong place. Everything's just all fucking. I could go on a long, long rant about how terrible a lot of the stuff the U.S. does.
Yeah, so can I. I would prefer not to. I kind of think that I maybe overthought this whole thing, but oh, hey, Green Buddy, who's this? Hang on, I'm gonna. Yeah, everything's good. We've been Picky and I have been talking for about over 2 hours now. Just random stuff, mostly baseball and wrestling related. We've basically been gigantic fucking nerds over here.
No surprise.
Glad to hear all is well here. Hey, good. What are you up to right now, Green Buddy? But yeah, in what were we talking about again, Picky? Sorry, I'm a little high, maybe a little drunk.
That's pretty typical. What I mean by that is, it's not to be unexpected. I really don't know because I started looking at other stuff, and all I gotta say is, man, I have not watched any wrestling other than like Tokyo Joshi Pro in years. That's practically the only promotion I'm interested in.
Oh, yeah, I haven't I'm kind of I'm probably gonna be binge watching New Japan here pretty quick. I gotta get caught up on some of their shows, but I've actually been watching. I'm subscribed to them. It's Eve Wrestling. They're a female promotion out of Britain. They're on YouTube right now. They do streams from time to time. They excellent stuff.
Maybe I'll check them out.
I've also got I've got the IWGT or it's the indie wrestling streaming app on my phone.
Oh.
But honestly, like it's I'm not even gonna lie, like it's been hard for me to watch wrestling over the last year. Like I'm not like up on it like I used to be. Let's see. Green Buddy says, I am more of a music guy, just having a drink and hanging out with y'all at the moment. Hey, what kind of music you into? I'm like a 90s punk kind of guy. I grew up listening to punk in the 80s, but yeah, like punk, industrial, that's my main jam.
Shoegaze, post rock, 480 stuff, dream pop.
Yeah, I was gonna say your musical tastes have always been actually really cool. Like you you know some really good stuff.
Generally,
like I remember you got me a like you could old school 70s
80s hair bands
and 80s hair bands. Old school 70s like the funk resurgence or prog rock, disco. Actually, I kind of feel bad that I used to give disco shit because it's actually some of it's actually really good.
I enjoy a chunk of disco, like Donna Summers. You cannot deny her at all.
Oh yeah. Oh, Donna Summer was great.
Yeah, no shit. She was. Oh.
My stepmother was really into her.
I did not know Chet Lemon had a career WAR of 55.6. Damn. He was one of my favorite players. He's probably my favorite center fielder of all time. Yes, I know Griffey is a better player, but I have a soft spot for Chet Lemon.
He was a hell of a defensive center fielder.
He also had a good stick.
Yeah, that's true. I wouldn't say he's a Hall of Fame player, but
he's on the. He's
if there's
on the
a Hall
cusp.
of very good,
yeah.
If there's a Hall of very good, he's going to be there.
Oh yeah, no, he's above. He's a couple steps above a starter. He's someone that's going to be a linchpin on your team.
Yeah.
That's what fascinates me about baseball, though, because like Hall of Fame standards are just out of this world for the most part.
That's true.
Meanwhile, the Pro Football Hall of Fame are they somewhat coherent? It doesn't matter. The Hall of Fame anyway.
Let's see.
Ooh.
Nothing from okay. Green Buddy says nothing from today.
Wishbone Ash, Frank Marino, and Mahogany Rush.
Yeah, I don't. Actually, when I saw Wishbone Ash, the first thing I thought was Fishbone. I'm like, oh, they were pretty cool. Old country music, etc. Okay.
Outlaw country, man. After the Nashville sound became the predominant one, I checked out.
Yeah. I tried to avoid country music because that was what I grew up with. So
I grew up with a mishmash of because I'm youngest by quite a few years, and so I had sisters and college brothers, and so my parents, and so my musical tastes were. I was introduced first to folk, old timey gospel and country, then like new romantic Duran Duran, and Queen and Spandau Ballet, and then stuff like Cocteau Twins and oddly enough, like The Jam, Haircut 100. What else was there? Like Exmal Deutschland, Color Box. Just here's a kid, right? And the radio is off to the side, and I'm getting introduced to all this weird ass shit. So that's where I came from musically.
Yeah, I grew up. It was mostly either country music or like 60s, 70s rock. That's what I grew up in. My oldest brother. He's like 8 years older than me, I think, something like that. Like, because I was the youngest for years. So like my older brothers introduced me to like metal and punk, and my second older brother was he had a goth phase, so I got to listen to a lot of the goth sound from the early 80s, a lot of Bauhaus, a lot of Sisters of Mercy, Joy Division. And we also had the community radio station KBOO, FM station. It's a completely like nonprofit, and they used to play like old industrial and stuff like that. That's how I discovered Big Black, actually.
So weird thinking of Big Black and throwing in the industrial side.
Well, they were a noise punk sort of thing, which I will say there is an overlap there. The Venn diagram does.
I hear you there, and you're the one who introduced me to Big Black.
That's true.
Which I'm thankful for, because I really enjoyed that and Steve Albini's other work as well.
Oh God, yeah. Actually, I just came off a binge where I listened to shellac albums for like.
Man,
like.
I just got the latest His Name Is Alive album on vinyl in their 40 track CD set of early releases. So that was cool. That's my favorite band of all time. His Name Is Alive. I'm practically evangelical for them. Push them on anybody.
That's how I was. That's how I am with Big Black. Like that. They're my favorite punk band of the 80s.
There's only one other band I'm like that with, and that is, well, it's not a band, it's a musician, Scott Cortez of Love Lies Crushing, Astro Bright, Star. Fucking incredible guitarist, just amazing.
Oh yes.
And unfortunately, just so unappreciated and unknown in the U.S. especially.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to break into. It's kind of hard to break into the mainstream in America these days.
I'm just thankful he still does work.
Especially, yeah. Of course, I say this as I did a whole show where I had Wesley Willis videos playing.
Oh, R.I.P. Wesley Willis. And that rock and roll McDonald's in the sky. But seriously,
I
Wesley
legitimately
Willis
appreciate that guy's work. I'm not even gonna lie.
I do. You know what? I do too. At first, it was like, aha. I'm like, you know what? I like this stuff. I can jam with it.
You know, I actually kind of like I kind of like his more personal stuff, where it's like he's just talking about like his everyday life shit.
I have a hard time listening to it because it hits. You know?
Yeah, yeah. But on the other hand, it does make his novelty songs pop a little more.
Yeah, I can see that.
After you've heard him rant about how he got thrown out of church for having a schizophrenic episode, Rock and Roll McDonald's is a little more entertaining.
Hey, so have you ever watched all of Twin Peaks?
No. And honestly, I did like I have not seen any of the new stuff. I know that they did a new series recently. I haven't seen any of that. I did see the originals, like all of them, but it's also been like decades since I have, so I don't remember hardly anything.
I thought about going back and watching them again. But if you want to watch like one thing of David Lynch, I would probably say Inland Empire, because the thing's fucking creepy.
I have never seen that.
It stars Laura Dern. It is fucking creepy. You should check it out.
Okay, I was gonna say, because I used to be like all about David Lynch, and I've been really bad about keeping up with him. So I know that he made Inland Empire. I just have never gotten around to seeing it. I'm not gonna lie. Lost Highway was kind of like my demarcation point.
I
hate to say it, like I watched after watching Lost Highway, I'm like, I had like kind of this thing where it's like, yeah, you know what? I don't think I really need to see any more from this guy right now.
Was that before or after Mulholland Drive?
I think that was before.
Because Mulholland Drive is fantastic as well.
Oh, Green Buddy says that's what I'm listening to. What, Wesley Willis? If so, I commend your taste. I was just thinking, Wesley Willis should have gone on tour with Daniel Johnston.
Daniel Johnston. Name sounds familiar.
He was an outlaw music guy. He was also he played a little bit of guitar. He was known for also being incredibly insane.
He died recently, didn't he?
Yes.
But he was. I know a lot of people really liked his work, and mainly musicians. Other musicians really liked his work.
I am not entirely familiar with him, but I might actually like go into a dive on him, because I've heard nothing but like really good things about his music. I know they did a documentary about him, The Devil in Daniel Johnston, but I have not seen that yet.
Yeah, he had some big mental issues. problems that were haunting him.
I did hear the story about how he almost crashed he and his dad's plane because of he had a schizophrenic episode.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I kind of touched on on that topic a while ago. Why we enjoy bad things, and one of the things that I thought about was that one of is that on some levels and in some cases, like some of those guys actually have, like, they are bringing some sort of quality to the table that we appreciate. And also you have the guys who make something that's really terrible, but they honestly believe in their hearts that what they're putting out there is art. And that's always really fun to laugh at.
God, now I'm thinking.
Sorry.
Now I'm thinking of like Attack, and bands like that are not good. Crabcore, just look it up.
What core?
Crabcore.
Crabcore. Like crab, like.
Yep. Shit that gets in your pants and you have to itch, or things you get at Sea Galley. We've got crab legs. Sea Galley. We've got crab legs. Going for them deep Northwest cuts.
Oh yeah. Yeah, this is definitely Pacific Northwest based here.
Next,
are they even still around?
Sea Galley? I think so. Well, no, I don't think they are. I think there might be one in like Yakima. Maybe Vancouver, because Vancouver's weird. Vancouver is sometimes the land that time forgot.
In some cases, yeah.
Where you can easily find fucking skippers on most every corner. That's the weird thing about, like, last time I was in Vancouver, it's been quite a while, but last time I was in Vancouver, Washington, I found skippers, and the franchise is basically dead.
Oh yeah.
But there they are.
Oh, hang on. What are y'all talking about? We kind of got in talking about the Pacific Northwest, where we're from, and how weird it is. And yeah, well, I don't think I haven't seen the Skippers in a while. We still have a Long John Silver's out in Gresham, I believe.
They're still alive. They're generally just in malls though, but they're a Seattle-based chain.
Okay.
No, I'm thinking Ivar's, not Long John Silver's.
Ivar's, yeah. Yeah, you're not exactly hurting for seafood up in the Pacific Northwest.
Or teriyaki. Let's be fucking honest. Man, there's so many teriyaki places in this area. Like everywhere, no matter which side you're on.
Yeah, I've actually I live out like in the boonies now, and there's a teriyaki cart just down Main Street out here in Estacada.
Any good?
I have not tried it. I should, because I do like a good teriyaki.
Oh, same. I love teriyaki. Good shit.
Yeah.
I think I'll order some tomorrow for. Oh, yeah, I think I'll order some tomorrow for lunch.
Let's see. Oh, Green Buddy asks, I live in Maine. Where are y'all? I'm actually about 40 miles outside Portland, Oregon. Picky, where are you from?
I'm 3 hours outside of Seattle.
Yeah, so he's in Washington and I'm in Oregon. Sorry for being a chatty Cathy, by the way. No, don't be sorry. We're just kicking it. Everyone's good. I want this to be a place where we can all just chill out and talk about whatever the fuck we want.
Check your text messages. I sent you a present.
Oh, okay. I'm checking it now. Bear with my phone. Okay. All right. I've actually got to
This theme actually bumps.
I'm going to see if I can pull it up. Oh, no. Yes. Okay. This is going to be a thing we all watch together. We're gonna watch a custom Titantron YouTube of Alex Wright's third theme. Oh, hang on. I'm gonna pause it. Okay. Oh. Okay. Give me a moment here. I'm still getting used to all this shit. Das Wunderkind! I'm not gonna lie, it definitely hits all the 90s buttons here.
I can't look at him without laughing though.
Achtung! Das Wunderkind is here.
Look, I'm not gonna lie. He looks like a twink you meet at a fucking club. It's really the leather jacket that does it, though.
Yeah. That was a pretty drop kick, though.
Oh, yeah, it was.
We need the 2000s WWE Attitude Metal version of this.
Just imagine him in this Berlin gimmick with the same intro music. Don't change anything else, but Berlin with this music.
Okay. Okay, I think we're good. But no, that was the most 90s thing that ever 90s. Like, yeah, I could honestly imagine that being played at the City Nightclub in downtown Portland in like 1994. Am I alive?
You are.
Are we alive? Okay.
By the blessings of Das Wunderkind, Alex Red.
Swear to God, dude was underrated, though.
And Eric Bischoff drove 2 promotions into the fucking gutter. Finished off the AWA, and then he drove WCW into the ground.
I don't know, though. Like, I'll argue that, Eric Bischoff, I don't know. I think he does. I think he kind of gets a bad rap. I mean, you can talk about his AWA stuff, but fact of the matter is that place was pretty much dead by the time he came along. Like, there was nothing he could have done that would have saved the AWA.
I don't know. I think if he had found like a teenage Alex Wright, he might have been able to see the AWA.
Alex Wright could save any promotion.
That's why he's Das Wunderkind.
Exactly.
I think, though, his time with WCW showed his major weaknesses as a booker.
My biggest problem with Eric Bischoff was that he pushed all the same guys well past a point where the audience didn't want to see it anymore. It's like you can only watch Hollywood Hogan defend for the fight for the or whatever for the world title so long before you're just like, all right, show us something else, anything else.
The 5,000.
Give it to Rey Mysterio or something.
The 5,000 versions of the NWO.
Yeah, it tuned me out after a while. Like, I was just finally like, yeah, you know what? No. I think it was Bash at the Beach 2000. That was the point where I finally was just like, yeah, I'm good without you, WCW. Thanks. But yeah,
I kind of feel the same way about the NBA.
How so?
I'm not really big on how important the 3-pointer is now.
it kind of takes away from it.
Yeah,
Of course, remember when we were talking about like how we missed the old Smash Mouth style of football in the 80s? When we were coming up watching basketball wasn't that much different.
No, it was definitely Smash Mouth basketball. But I was a fan of the Detroit Pistons, so I'm skewed.
So was I. Yeah, when they faced Portland and kicked their ass, I was so torn up about that just because I really wanted the Blazers to win.
Right.
But on the other hand, I loved me some bad boys.
What was funny is, and what a lot of people hate to admit, is they were very skilled. They were a very solid team.
Yeah. No. Isaiah Thomas is one of the best point guards in the game. And you know what? Bill Laimbeer, for all the shit that goes his way, was a hell of a shooter.
He was actually a really good center, good rebounder, good blocker. Couldn't had a vertical leap of like an inch, but he was a really good center.
Yeah.
And if in nowadays game, he would actually fit better because he could shoot the ball from three. He could make 3-pointers. It was so weird back then.
You know who was actually ironic? Strangely enough, Manute Bol was a pretty good 3-point shooter.
He had to have something besides his height to stay in the NBA for as long as he did, because he certainly couldn't play defense or actually play on the rim.
Yeah, he was definitely not a guy that you wanted for points or rebounds, but
when you could be knocked over by someone going really fast around you, means you're a little underweight. I loved Manute Bol.
Yeah.
Shame what happened to him and everything, but I loved him. I don't know why, but something about him.
I enjoyed watching him just because, well, he kind of looked like a stick figure.
Yes.
Like during his in his youth, it looked like a stick figure running up and down the court.
It was so weird.
You know what's really weird is that Muggsy Bogues was his teammate.
Oh, that is weird. That is just such a weird dichotomy. The
So
shortest player.
Yeah. A guy who's 7'7" and he's teammates with a 5'3" guy.
I don't even think Muggsy Bogues was 5'3".
Yeah, he looked
under 5 feet, but mind you, he was still good enough to play in the NBA with people who are over a foot plus taller than him.
Oh yeah, I loved watching him play. He was good.
Oh yeah. So was Spud Webb.
Yes. Dude had a leap.
Oh yeah, he won. I think he won a slam dunk contest.
He did win a slam dunk contest.
And people forget about Dominique Wilkins, the human highlight reel.
Yeah. Well, if he'd played in like LA or New York or something like that, he would have been a household name, but Atlanta.
He also got stuck in the NBA Eastern Conference with Bird, the Bad Boys, Jordan.
Yeah, Ewing.
It was a meat grinder conference. It was
yeah. That was a war of attrition over in the Eastern Conference.
It's so different than the Western Conference.
Yeah.
Mind you, I love the Sonics, especially the early to mid 90s Sonics with GP and Sean Kemp. Jeez.
Yeah. Man, Sean Kemp was a goddamn monster in his prime.
Man. Yeah, him and Peyton. Like Kemp was just a force of nature.
Yeah.
He could play defense. He could just like slam over everybody. So athletic, so talented. Like when he was traded from Seattle, though, it broke his heart. He was never the same after he got traded from Seattle.
Oh yeah, to Cleveland, right?
Yep. Reminds me of Dale
Yep.
Murphy when Murphy was traded off to Philadelphia, and it just like off a cliff.
Well, honestly, Dale Murphy, like the signs were there that he was regressing. I mean, from '89 on, like he just didn't have it.
It just breaks my heart because he was one of my favorite players.
Oh yeah, he was Dale Murphy was my grandmother's favorite player, actually.
Oh, wow.
Because yeah, she lived out in John Day, and all she had for a baseball was WGN or WTBS. So I knew everything about the Cubs and the Braves from her.
That reminds me of watching on a satellite dish with my parents got it. It was WGN or WTBS. So it was nice though because my dad, a lot of my family are Reds fans, so they got to see a lot of Red games because play the Cubs, play the Braves, Reds are in town.
Oh right.
Me, I got a birthday gift from was it a birthday or Christmas gift? It was an early gift for the 1989 season. It was a subscription to Pass Sports so I could watch the Tigers. 1989, by the way, is the year that the first year in age they lost 100 games.
Yeah,
I watched as many as possible though. Because it was a gift. I diligently watched games. It's so bad. It's so fucking bad.
Oh, well,
I appreciated it. I love the pain.
Yeah, I still have flashbacks from the 1988 Orioles, so I feel your pain.
Didn't they lose 20 some odd games to start the season?
Yes, they did not win. They did not win a single game until like May.
After that means their season's
over. They went 0 for an entire month.
Jesus. Yeah. Say what you will, you can withstand some losing streaks in baseball, but when you're that type of one, your season's done. You just cannot make up that much ground.
No, you could be playing like the most amazing ball in the league, and if you're like down 21 games, then that's not going to work.
I mean, theoretically you could, but in practice, it's just generally you have to win so much and hope the other teams don't.
Right. You have to hope somebody else has an equally catastrophic collapse.
Like the Angels in 1995.
Oh, yes. One of the more entertaining postseason races, though.
That was Save the Mariners.
Yeah.
Didn't save Tino Martinez staying in Seattle, though.
No, it didn't. I wish Seattle had kept Tino, but well.
Just think of that lineup. Tino, Edgar, Griffey, Buhner, Alex Rodriguez. Yep. Just count the Hall of Famers, roughly. And the Hall of Very Good players. I mean, the only way they could have gotten better is if they had Jim Presley back.
Oh God, I'm like thinking like, imagine what the 2001 Mariners could have done if they had been able to like keep all of that talent.
Probably not as good, honestly.
Ah,
But it was Griffey that ended up being a major factor in Ichiro signing with the Mariners.
true.
Man, oh, now I'm depressed. Damn you, Mariners. It's like it goes back to like careers that were pretty much wasted in Seattle, and like Ichiro.
Yeah, that he and Felix Hernandez are two guys that I would argue like deserved at least to play in a World Series.
Yep. Felix didn't even get to play in a playoff game.
That's some shit right there.
Thing is he loved the city. He lives in Seattle. He loves the city. He's one of the few players that actually lives in the town.
Seattle's pretty awesome. Like it's definitely on my short list of places I would prefer to move to.
Unless you've like, it's not as it's pretty much just tech bros and white people and a few Asians now. That's Seattle now. It's yeah, it's pretty rough. It's lost a lot of its soul.
I can see that.
Tacoma, though, Tacoma's pretty hopping.
It is blowing up. But yeah, Seattle is such a beautiful city, though. Like it really is.
It is. I will agree with you there. I would move to the nearby areas of Seattle.
That might be where that might be better.
As long as it's not fucking Burien. Jesus.
I've never been there.
Burien is is like a shittier version of Beaverton.
Oh.
If such a thing you can imagine, if you can imagine such a thing.
So it's basically it has all the charm and character of soggy cardboard.
Yeah, so it's all the worst parts of like a place like Gresham, mixed with mixed with the subtle corporate charm of Beaverton. Before it was just shitty.
You put that subtle corporate charm, like, yeah, no, that actually is the most accurate description of Beaverton I've ever heard.
Yeah, imagine a place that was sort of like Gresham, only a little more grimy. Now imagine it being cleaned up for corporate tech bros, but still having that sheen of filth on it. That's Burien. Oh, and it's in the shadow of SeaTac, so that should also explain a little bit more about it.
Oh,
yeah, it's an airport town near the actual town of SeaTac as well. So, yeah, Burien has a lot going on for it. None of it good, all of it bad. So, funny story. When I was in grad school, you know, all the people from the Northwest, like especially Washington, would try and say, "Hey, you know, where are you from?" It's like, "Oh," and we'd say our actual place, and no one would know. Then we'd go to the next large city nearby. Eventually, like everyone just said Seattle. This is the way. So when I met someone from the Northwest, I'd say, "Hey, where are you from?" Like Seattle. I'd go, "No, where are you really from?" One gal said, "West Seattle." Like, okay. So at least you're not true. Another one said Seattle, like, "Where are you from?" It's like, Burien. It's like, "You really admit you're from Burien?" I'm like, hey, yeah.
Okay. I'm getting that's definitely a Gresham vibe right there.
Yeah. Knew a gal from Beaverton.
Huh?
I knew a gal from Beaverton. Visited her a couple times.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, definitely. She's a stripper.
Yeah,
As you would expect from someone from Beaverton.
Well, hey, if you're a stripper, then you might not want to live where you work. Yeah, it just doesn't work out well. So Beaverton's as good a place as any.
Yeah.
No, I lived out by Beaverton for like about 5 years. I was actually out by Cedar Mill, which is actually pretty nice. It's cute. It's a cute little like stop on the way to wherever you're going. But
Look, there's one thing I know about the Northwest. The coast cities are weird, and you should stay away from them. Like the ones that actually aren't in the Pacific.
I came pretty close to buying a place out off the Oregon coast, but for some reason I decided against it.
It could have been worse. You could have gone to like fucking the Dalles or some shit like that.
No, I just went back to my hometown.
Isn't that close to the Dalles?
No, I'm actually like about 30 miles southeast of Portland.
Huh. I'm just thinking of the Dalles. Because that's the closest Burgerville. That's the closest Burgerville to me. There's this really creepy. No. The only Burgervilles in Washington are in Vancouver, and there's one in Chehalis, or no, Centralia, and that's it. Mind you, I like Burgerville. I think it's a Burgerville. I think it's yeah. They use all sorts of good shit ingredients, man. It's like fast food, but it's like a cut above fast food.
Yeah, if anybody's listening from out of the region, if you're ever in Oregon, hit up a Burgerville. You'll thank me.
If you're in Portland, you have to go to a Plaid Pantry because that's the only place they are.
Yeah. Yeah, I worked for Plaid Pantry.
Yeah, but they're only in Portland. Like once you leave the Portland metro area, not including Vancouver, oddly enough, there are no more Plaid Pantries. It's like once you cross the Columbia, Plaid Pantries disappear. They can't. They're cursed to not be able to exist beyond a certain radius.
They are they're definitely a very local thing.
I swear I saw a Plaid Pantry across the street from a Plaid Pantry, like a Starbucks. It's like, what the fuck?
God, when I worked for Starbucks, I'm not even kidding. We were actually right across the street from another Starbucks.
Someone in Starbucks corporate did the numbers and figured there was enough foot traffic that both could survive and be profitable.
Actually, they wound up closing up the one across the street from us and then folding everybody over to mine.
That's usually how it works out. But some bean counter said, "Hey, we might be able to do that." Because like there's 1, 2.
Oh God!
There are 3 Starbucks on the street. It's a long street, but it's the street I live on. There are 3 Starbucks.
Okay.
It's like there doesn't really need to be 3 Starbucks. You can drive down to the other one.
Oh God, I'm like just imagining the traffic jams that Frappuccino happy hours get.
I will say that the breakfast sandwiches at Starbucks are pretty good, and I like them.
I do too, but I got burnt out on them after working for them, and our management was always really cool. They let us take home the food after it expired.
So
So like,
nice.
it was still good, but like, it was kind of one of those things where I was like, once you got it home, like you better be eating that shit right away. So yeah, my wife and I spent like 2 years eating Starbucks breakfast sandwiches and their
Are,
paninis. And
are those all frozen and then sent over to the Starbucks to defrost and shit?
yes,
I figured as much, but I wanted to just verify.
yeah, it all comes to you frozen. But you could do worse. At least it's not McDonald's.
I have a soft spot for McDonald's, but that's probably because I was a poor kid and McDonald's was like a big treat, so it stayed with me.
It kind of did for me too, because poor kid and
Mm-hmm.
Happy Meals. But yeah, I avoid McDonald's like the plague now. Although I'm not gonna lie, every once in a while I do get a hankering for the double quarter pounder.
If you request it sort of custom, they generally make it right off the grill, so it actually the cheese melts really well, and it's a serviceable burger.
Okay.
Because when their patties are like hot off the grill, because they are frozen, but they do grill them. When they're like that, they're
Right.
not bad. They've got that seared in stuff, so it's not the best, but it's better than
It's
Burger
something.
King. Better than Burger King.
Oh yeah. I used to love Burger King too.
I like their chicken sandwiches, but like if I'm going to your typical national fast food chain, I will honestly just go to Wendy's. I like their hamburgers and I like
Same. Yeah, I'm a Wendy's fan myself.
and of course if I'm talking about like going out to like a chain breakfast restaurant, Original Pancake House. They finally got some where I'm at.
Oh, I don't see those around here. Honestly.
Really? That's so strange because they're from Portland. That's their founding location. I've been to the original one.
I'm okay. Huh.
Just like Shari's or Sherry's, as most people pronounce it, is a Oregon
Sherry.
thing. I like Sherry's though. It's a
I have idled away many teenage years drinking coffee there with my friends.
well. So when I was in college, there was a Denny's and Sherry's in the area nearby, and for some reason, my friend and we were annoyed that Denny's didn't bother to pay the extra couple cents for bendy straws, but Sherry's did. So we just paid for our drinks, and we went to Sherry's because they had bendy straws. Yeah.
Okay.
And Sherry's pies are good. I like their pies.
Yeah. Actually, when I was going to college, we had a place in Portland called it was originally called the Blah Blah Cafe, and it was it was 24/7. It had a pool table. It had a jukebox where they had William Shatner's album. So I listened to a lot of his version of Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds. And in the basement, they had a bar where they didn't really check IDs.
Oh.
So,
well, that explains why. Wow. You know, it's weird. I was just looking up something, and the original Pancake House now has more locations in Illinois than it does Oregon. Same with Florida. It's so weird.
That is weird.
Because the original Pancake House was founded in Oregon, in Portland. They only have one Portland location now. That's they have other locations in Asia though. Oh, I think Tracy disconnected.
Anyway, sorry for the technical difficulty. I lost internet for a bit. Anyway, I think this is a great time to cut off the stream. I think I had a lot of fun tonight. And if anyone's listening, smash the like button, do the subscriptions, ring the bell, all that. Anyway, thanks for listening, and we'll talk to you next time.